Evening, everybody. Happy Palm Sunday if that's something that you celebrate. And if it's something you celebrate, I hope you had a wonderful day. And I find it interesting, the groups that our politicians choose to pander to. And I understand that I'm pointing out that it's Palm Sunday, and that's a very big deal in Catholic tradition. And that used to be a big deal. That used to get a lot of politicians tweeting out, et cetera, and even the leader of parties tweeting out sometimes, but not today, not Justin Trudeau. And that's an interesting choice for the leader of our country. And why is that an interesting choice? Because the things that he did choose to highlight today are even more interesting. And I'll tell you about why I think, or what I think the stakes are, and why I think Justin decided to make that choice. I think you'll understand at the end of this report. So, without further ado, the National Post is reporting, quote, "Terror report could trigger seismic shift in Sikh political leanings, impact next election." It's touted as the largest celebration of its kind outside India, drawing almost 500,000 people to mark the Sikh religion's New Year. For politicians eager to tap into an electorally powerful ethnic group, the huge version of Castle Day, sorry if that's wrong, in Surrey, BC is a veritable goldmine. But barring a significant change of tune by the federal government over the next week, this year's edition will impose an unprecedented policy. Unless certain demands are met, Liberal MPs will be barred from speaking from its stages on April 20th, says organizer Mohinder Singh. Quote, "We've never had to take steps like this," said the BC Gurdwara Council spokesman, "but we can't be giving platforms where 500,000 people are out walking around when we don't see a genuine relationship being formed with the community." The threatened ban was over an issue causing growing consternation in the Sikh community. An annual Public Safety Canada report on terrorism that for the first time this December contained a small section on the alleged threat of Sikh extremism. Community activists insist that violent support for that independence of Sikh-dominated Punjab state from India ended in the years after the 1985 Air India bombing, Canada's worst ever terrorist act, and call the report a smear job. Critics see the hidden hand of India allegedly manipulating Canada to malign a diaspora fixated on Punjab separation. The government says that's hogwash, while others warn against politicians meddling in a report penned by independent security agencies. Public Safety Minister Ralph Goodall has apologized for language he says inadvertently disparaged Sikhs. Regardless, community activists say the issue could have major implications for Canadian politics, setting off potentially seismic shift in a minority group with widely disproportionate political muscle. At stake are 9 Sikh-dominated ridings in the Toronto area suburbs, Calgary, and Lower Mainland BC, all of which went Liberal in the 2015 election, many flipping from the Conservatives. Another 8, mostly Liberal seats across the country could be decided by the Sikh vote if the races are competitive, says, and I can't say his name, executive director of the World Sikh Organization, the WSO, while 18 more are susceptible to Sikh influence if particularly close. 9 seats make or break their Liberal majority, says Sandhu, who's the WSO chief. Sikhs can decide that. Wow, right? Like, that's a lot of political power. So what does Justin Trudeau do? Yesterday, or the 13th, so yeah, that's yesterday, he tweeted this out, Vashiki, and again, if I've got that wrong, Visaki, sorry if I've got it wrong, I apologize, is a time to focus on what matters, family, friends, and coming together as neighbors and fellow Canadians, and an opportunity to recognize the remarkable contribution of Sikh Canadians have made to our country. What a celebration in Vancouver today. And there's Mr. Trudeau, and these pictures have been all over the newspaper today if you've been watching, right? And there he is. Where's Sophie? Where's his wife? She doesn't seem to be around. I haven't seen her in months. Really, I haven't seen an updated picture in a while. Here is today, bright and early, 6 a.m. He's, I don't know if this was recorded yesterday or who knows, but this is Happy Visaki. Sorry again if I got that wrong. Sophie and I send our best wishes to Sikh communities celebrating Canada and around the world. Sophie just decided not to be in this picture, and she's not in the room either. She's, well, she'll experience this the way just Justin Trudeau decides later. Yeah, but she sends her regards anyway. Here's Global News reporting, and this is at 1 o'clock today. Sikh Indian minister slams Trudeau Liberals over knee-jerk changes to terrorism report. And you can read that report on your own. It's just everything Trudeau tries falls flat. It's quite interesting, and I wanted to show you this as well. This is Justin Trudeau's full Twitter feed, right? It's the link is in the description. You can see for yourself. And no mention of anything else. Happy New Year to Tamils, celebrating Putandu today. And here is Vishaki again. And no Palm Sunday. Is that weird to me? I was having a conversation with some friends, and I said, if you're going to pander to everybody. You know, put the Christians in there too. If you're going to pander to everybody, or the Catholics, or the everybody, right? You don't get, well, I guess you do get to pick and choose, but when you pick and choose, people take notice of that. People take notice and get kind of angry, and that leads into our next story. Conservatives' lead widens as liberals slip in new poll. A new poll suggests Andrew Scheer Conservatives continue to have the most support among decided and leaning voters, while a majority of respondents to the survey say they disapprove of Justin Trudeau's performance as Prime Minister. So, as I've said before, and I think this one has up to 42%. Hold on. There it is. 42% of decided and leaning voters say they support the Conservative Party, according to the latest federal, quote, horse race poll by Forum Research. That compares with 29% who intend to vote for the governing Liberals and 12% who support the NDP. So that's an interesting number. That's the highest number I've seen. And I looked on 538. It does not match. It does not match. Although 538 agrees that the Conservatives look to be poised to be creating the next minority government, a conservative minority, which is a massive swing from 3 months ago. If you go back to even February, January, it looked like a liberal minority at absolute worst. So the fact that we've flipped to a conservative minority, and when the election heats up, I'm not saying that a whole lot of these seats will flip, but there's going to be movement. There's going to be a lot of movement. Mr. Singh Jagmeet Singh is articulate and might bleed some from the Liberals. Mr. Trudeau is really, really unpopular. And the Conservatives, there are a lot of people and a lot of years invested in that party. There are a lot of local people who have put a lot of their personal time and energy into this party, the Conservative Party of Canada. So I'm not surprised by this. This is the other party that a lot of people know about. And if you know you're not voting for Justin Trudeau, and if you don't pay a whole lot of attention to Canadian politics, who's the other guy? Yeah, I'm voting for him, especially until an election heats up. All of that said, I'm just really glad that it's not the Liberals at the top line currently, because that would be frustrating. The fact that they're number two still, I don't understand how that many people can be allowing this party to barrel into another day of governing, never mind another term. Awful. Liars. What did they deliver on their promises? Very, very little. Nothing. The marijuana legalization is a farce. It's a bad monopoly that should not have been allowed to be brought into existence. And the laws surrounding marijuana are probably unconstitutional. They're poorly written laws. The 2 hours after getting home, drinking and driving changes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There are so many problems with this, with what the Liberals have done since taking power, that, again, I don't know how any serious person could look at that and say, yeah, that's pretty good. Let's do another 4 years of that. Man, just unbelievable. Unbelievable. What do they have to do? Anyway, so all of that said, check out the peoplespartyofcanada.ca, because I think by the time debates happen and all sorts of other stuff, like I said, there's going to be movement. But I've been wrong before, and I'm willing to be wrong again, because this is my show, and this is my speculation, and that's what I think. So thanks for watching. Check out the peoplespartyofcanada.ca, and have a wonderful Sunday evening.